Well, it is a race against time as search and rescue teams search beneath the rubble of the George building collapse for more survivors. 81 construction workers were on site when the building caved in on Monday. 8 deaths have been confirmed so far, while 44 of the workers remain trapped. Let's bring in Newzroom Afrika's Sipha Kema, who's been tracking the recovery from the beginning. Sipha, a good morning to you. What's the latest, certainly the highlights of what happened yesterday?
Well, Naledi, as of the updates, we have not received an update this morning. The last update was at 9:30 last night, and we have been informed that the numbers still remain the same. However, I'm going to be speaking to the Chief Director of Disaster Management in the Western Cape, Colin Denier, just now, just to talk about that as well. But just to give you insight on what actually happened yesterday was we had the Minister of Labour and Employment, visiting the site, of course, and he sent his condolences to the families that have lost loved ones. But also, I think the most important part to take away from this was when we heard him during the briefing making some sort of a public service announcement, or rather announcement to the contractors and developers that are involved, that were involved in this project here behind us. And when I asked whether or not this was an announcement, had the Department of Labour met with the developers, and the answer was no. We do know that we were told by one of the officials that they have been trying to track down the developers or the contractors that were part of this construction site, but to no avail. But one thing that stood out, Naledi, was both the police as well as Labour and the MEC of Local Government, Anton Breeden, was telling us that this now is a legal process. But I think let's also get to the numbers, Naledi, just to speak to Mr. Colin Denier here. Mr. Denier, thank you so much for joining us. I know you've been up all night, you have not had a wink of sleep, but we just want to talk about the work that you've been doing throughout the night. Any updates for us?
Yeah, so we haven't found any new signs yet. So what we've done is we've basically started delayering the building with the demolition equipment. And it's been a very careful process, because what you need to do is the moment you break the concrete, we have to have teams going in to make sure there's no person there. We bring dogs in to smell, try and pick up any scent, and then we put a camera in to look at the next floor. So it's slow going. But the teams morale's been excellent. So we have got 2 areas now where we've picked up quite big voids, which we're going to start going into, and then we're going to take basically the whole side of the building out at the back, starting at about 7, and then we'll be able to have a side view of each of the floors that are still existing, and hopefully that will give us an indication of where any people are. But right through the night, we haven't found anybody new, any new indications.
And now, when we're talking about indications, Mr. Denier, I do understand it is a sensitive subject, but however, have you been able to maybe track even those that are unresponsive?
Yes, we've tracked a few, but it's going to be a process to release them. But we can't give you a number yet, because it's really difficult to determine how many people. But that will be the process of the day.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Denier. Mr. Colin Denier there, Chief Director of Disaster Management in the Western Cape, of course, giving us an update there, Naledi, and the technical process of what's going to happen here, or what's been happening as from yesterday and continuing, of course, to this day. Now, Naledi, the countdown that we were all, counting down to the 72 hours has passed, but we had hoped that we would receive somewhat of a briefing just to understand where things stand currently, but we'll watch out for that later on in the day. But another important matter to note is that the Minister of Health, Dr. Joe Phaahla, will be in George at 9 a.m. He'll be visiting the local hospitals across the region that are currently offering medical services to those that were injured and recovered from the rubble. So that's another area that we need to look out for. But when we're talking about some of the issues that we have picked up on site regarding to, some of the information that we've been given as far as the media briefing by the Minister of Labour and Employment, it just we were informed that they're not going to start the investigation anytime soon into the labor-related issues. But what they will do is wait for the South African Police Services to conduct their own crime scene investigation, because Naledi, this has been declared a crime scene, and hence also we've been just moved far along as well, and that's what we need to treat it now moving on.